we will open up the first public hearing, which is the proposed solid waste contract with Waste Management. And we'll start off with a staff report from our city administrator.
This is the second public hearing on the contract.
Oh, sorry. We have microphones.
Who wants microphones? This way we're closer so we can pass them all around. Okay, this is the second hearing. We need a bigger podium too. This is the second hearing on the solid waste services contract, and the RTW talks about how the city can go out and do an RFP, but they don't really have to. It's just to supplement the services and to make it look clean and clear. However, I want to refer back to the last meeting we had. We had one hearing, I think it was in May, may have been June, but anyway, a couple weeks ago we talked about the findings of fact from the RFP process. And one of the things that was pulled out was the recommendation from staff about the findings on the numbers, the assertions that Murray had on savings the city would have seen if they went to them instead of Waste Management. And what I stated at the time, if I can find it here, was that Murray's assertion that the city would save $1.9 million should they be chosen had been found lacking after staff review, which found incorrect and unverifiable calculations. Well, since then, I've done much more research into it, and it's taken me hours and hours of time because it was quite difficult to reconcile any of the numbers that they provided for me. And I'm talking about the quantity counts, which is the amount of services the city sees. There, I have 4 different sources for those, and I can hand you out backup on it if you want. I'll give it to you tonight. And the public is welcome to have it as well. They can come ask for it. But basically what it shows is what we have. One source was mailed to me, a spreadsheet in June, early June. Then we got the report we got the RFP, first of all, that's another source. We got the report from the auditor, from their auditor, own accountant, who even said they found differences from the numbers that were provided to them. And then Waste Management's numbers were different from all the other numbers they had. So when you look at that and you see these various differences, are their rates lower? Sure, their rates are lower in some areas, a lot of areas. But these numbers are not verifiable. As an accountant, I can't say I can believe these numbers, and I can't give them to the council and say that they're good because of that. So that was my first inclination, was to look at those and say, I'm not even sure why they're looking at these, because I can't verify the numbers, I can't reconcile them. And as I've heard before from some council members, if it's not reconcilable, we don't even want to look at it. So, and I agree with that. I totally agree with that. So, I'm going to pass these around.
I saw you looked at me when you said that.
I'm going to pass these around too. So, there's one other thing I want to speak to on this. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, so besides that, that's huge for me. Ask any state auditor, they'll say the same thing.
Yes.
Number 2, the assertions of savings don't clearly define if recycling was taken into account for the business community. We have Laura from Waste Management who's going to speak to that better than I can. So she would like to speak tonight if it's okay with the council. And then number 3, the numbers that support the assertion were not provided to the city until almost a month after the RFP process. Why not? I mean, I don't understand that either, but by that point, we've already, the council's made a decision and we're moving on to negotiations. Finally, the assertion does not take into account the scoring criteria that the Solid Waste Committee and staff used in rating the RFPs, such as community, environmental stewardship, and operational experience. So the financial aspect of it was weighted 25%, which is bigger than some of the other ones, which were weighted 20. There was 5 of them. Some were 20, some were 25, and I think one was even 10%. So you have to take all those into account before you can make a decision just on one area, and that's what we did. And we did rate, all 4 of us rated Murray's better in that area, but in the other areas we didn't. So, and it was close, we told you all that, but I just wanted to help you understand why I made the comment I did in the fact findings. Now, tonight, we do have a contract that's complete, but we just got it last week. There were 2 exhibits that were missing, and one of them was rather insignificant because it was the prices, and the other one was the map. So now it's in the contract, and next Monday, you will see that contract before you, because we're having discussion on in the workshop. So, and any citizen or any public person wants to come and get the contract, they're more than welcome. It's on the website. It's got the complete documentation in it. Everything's good to go. There's been a lot of time spent on this. And another thing that Waste Management will speak to is that the rates in their contract are lower than the rates in the current contract that we've been extended. So there are savings. It's not like one company is doing all the savings and the other one's just saying, we provide good services and we're not going to be concerned about the citizens and the public saving money too. So, there's one other aspect too, and it's recycling. And as I said, recycling has been pushed by King County quite a bit. They're really promoting it because it saves space, it saves solid waste being dumped, and it's reusable. And I know that Waste Management put a big part of their RFP towards discussing that and how they educate the public. And I didn't see that from Murray's. I did see a man's name who deals with that. And that's something is important. I know to the committee, Solid Waste Committee, and to Lance and I when we looked at this. So that's all I have. We're going to, at the end of this meeting, at this hearing, the mayor has asked us to extend to the 10th of August so people have plenty of time to look at the contract since it wasn't provided in the last couple of weeks. And that's only fair and just to do that. So I want to let everybody know. And you can get it for free on the website, on the city website, or you come in and pay a little bit for it. It's about, I want to say 30 pages or so.
So were you going to have Laura speak as part of your staff report?
Yeah, we can do that. Do you want to speak a little? Oh, there you are. Why don't you come on up and speak? We've been working together on this for a couple of weeks.
So, yeah, my comments are just kind of comments as a whole. Is that okay?
Okay, we'll go ahead and make that part of the staff report. So go ahead and come on in.
So, good evening. Thanks for letting me speak. I just wanted to start by saying that I believe that you made the right choice 2 months ago when you chose Pacific Gets the Best, and you chose Waste Management as the only vendor to meet and or exceed the policies and values that were articulated in the city's RFP. We met your city policy goals around environment with compressed natural gas trucks dramatically reducing air pollution, greenhouse gases, and those trucks run quieter on your neighborhood streets. We also have a proven record that we can process your recyclables and reduce your impact on the King County Cedar Hills landfill. We also submitted providing services from our well-trained professional drivers represented by their union and paid a fair and living wage. These are the drivers who serve your city well for many, many years. You've asked about rates and services, and I'll talk a little bit about the residential aspect. Residents who are already meeting your diversion goals will see a significant savings in the rates that they pay today. Just as an example, a residential customer who has a 35-gallon garbage cart, a 64-gallon recycle cart, and a 96-gallon yard food waste cart will see a savings of $14.54 a month. A residential customer with a 35-gallon garbage cart but no recycling, no food yard waste will see a minimal increase of $1.53 a month. But now they're going to have 2 added services with the opportunity to reduce their garbage by diverting their waste into the recycling and the yard waste. Those are important components, I think, in achieving the city's goals for diversion as they align with King County's goals for diversion. All Pacific residents will receive new recycling carts, increasing the capacity from 64 gallons to 96 gallons. 64 gallons will still be available to those who want the smaller cart, but we're increasing capacity there. And all customers will receive 96-gallon carts for the yard waste. We're also changing all customer-owned cans to the wheeled carts to help move materials to the curb with the attached lids on those windy days. It really creates a nicer look for the community on collection day. We continue with the annual spring cleanup, and we've added a special collection event to that to enhance what's happening at the curb with the recycling program and the yard waste program. And we'll look at including hard-to-recycle materials. It could be polystyrene blocks, used cooking oil, electronic waste. We'll sit down with the city and discuss, what is it you guys are hearing folks want to recycle, and then we'll tailor it to be that. Businesses are important too, and I know that that's a big part of this conversation. While it's the city's desire to bring the Pierce County and the King County Pacific customers under one service provider, they are currently set up very differently. Most all of the Pacific King County customers will see a decrease in the current rate, and the Pacific Pierce County customers will see an increase, bringing them to the King County side, the rate. So everybody will end up with the same rate structure. To implement the necessary changes required a high degree of experienced educational outreach, and this is a little bit of what Richard was speaking to. As part of our proposal to the city, our approach to a successful implementation is reaching out and going to every business in the community, and so that they understand what their service level options are, and we'll perform a personalized consultation. So what does that mean? We take the time to go and we lift container lids and carts, whatever they have there, and we do an evaluation of the material, specifically in the solid waste stream. And then we make recommendations to the owner or manager about what they can do to recycle the materials that we found in the garbage, and to possibly right-size their garbage container. Maybe they have too much service and they're not using it all, and we can help them downsize that. Or if they're going to recycle, they're going to add recycling stream in and then reduce the garbage down. So that's all part of the consultation. And we also bring educational materials. So we do, it's a one-on-one with every business in the community. We provide that service at the start of the contract, and then we do it annually for the life of the contract. We're also available throughout the year. If somebody needs some help and they want an audit, you have a new business that moved into town, we will come and audit what they have, what they're doing. We'll make recommendations to them, and we'll provide education too. So if somebody wants to start a program, we come out and work with the employees to help get that program started. Multifamily. Multifamily customers are residents, and they will now receive single-stream recycling and the Christmas tree collection also as part of their garbage rate. There's no increase in those garbage rates. There's actually a slight reduction to multifamily. Again, we go to every multifamily site in the city, and we work with the property manager about what's there, what's accessible by truck, what kind of space do they have for container, how many units are in that multifamily property. We provide the educational outreach materials, and we help them figure out what they need at that property site so that they can be a part of the recycling program too. Again, that's something we'll do at the start of the contract, and we do it every year throughout the life of the contract. We're always reaching out through site visits, phone calls, and mailings to help with that process. And then just speaking of education, I know you recognize Pacific Partners this evening, and we had a booth recently at your Pacific Days providing recycling and waste reduction information to the community. And our booth was actually staffed by 2 college interns who are participating in our summer program called Recycle Corps. And we bring in about a dozen college students from across the United States, and they come in and they get intensive training about recycling and waste reduction, and then we basically send them out into the field, and they go to events like Pacific Days, they do outreach like I described to you, and they just have a great time, and that runs all summer. It's just another way that we focus on education and helping achieve the goals that are necessary for diversion from the landfill. So just in closing, your community is important to us, how we interact, how we deliver service, how we listen, and how we reach out when needed. We want to remain a part of Pacific community that we have enjoyed servicing all these years. I believe we have proven our ability to cooperatively work in achieving your environmental goals, benefiting the community as a whole. I will say again, we are ready, willing, and able to implement this new contract and look forward to an approval soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from council? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, I'll now open it up to public comment.